Shapership. In fact, Jean-Louis invented this word, shapership, because we were a bit fed up with entrepreneurship, leadership, as the only way to move forward in this world. And obviously, shapership is a contraction of the verb to shape, which is give shape to reality or to something, and ship, which is connected to a word I like, which is craftsmanship, for instance. And so a ship is a particular competence in a certain field. So shapership is the art of making alternative future visible, desirable, and actionable. It's the art of shaping the future. And we started to think about people who have changed the world without being entrepreneur or leaders. And we found some, of course. Think about, if I say Martin Luther King, everybody says, well, it did not succeed to him because he was killed. No. There are people who changed the world in certain areas. Justice, social justice, education, whatever. And those people, they were not leaders nor entrepreneurs. So we started to look at them and look at the way they look at the world, because it's our angle. And if I tell you that the cover of the first edition of our book was this sentence, which is, the eye only sees what the brain is ready to understand. So you see what it means. It's all about a way to look at the world as it is, and to see that what is not really enough, or for some people it's the middle age. Indeed, it needs to be challenged. And to look at what could be, which is invisible, and to make it visible. So we started to study, is a big word, to study or to look at the way many people have looked at reality in creative ways, unconventional ways, we say. And we came to something which is absolutely simple. It's simple to the max. Those people we call shapers have existed all over the world. I can give you some names after, but the idea is that those people changed the world because they did something which is the DNA of shapership, as we say. First, they look at reality, square in the face. They look at the way things are, and they say a big no, N-O. No, and we called it the creative resistance, which means they see things as they are, and they understand that those things are based on a series of ideas, dominant ideas, conventional ideas. And they say this cannot stay the way it is. For instance, Dr. V in India is an ophthalmic surgeon. At 55, he's retired, and he looks at his country, India. And he sees that 12 million people are losing sight because of lack of preventive eye care. And looking at that, he says a big no. So that's the first step, creative resistance. Then, of course, it would be sad to stay there. It would just generate despair. So the second aspect and the second point of the DNA of shapership is the big yes. Those people, they say a big yes. They unlock their imagination and they dare to say something which is I have a dream from Martin Luther King. So for instance, Dr. V says something which is, you will hear it. It's really a few words. He says, I'm going to eliminate needless blindness. And everybody says he's crazy. Of course, because what they do is that they create a hole in the prison of the representations that we have about what is possible and what is impossible. They think about something which seems impossible for others, and then they say, I'm going to do that. And this transformative vision is the second point. It's the ability to just pioneer some possible path into the future which is transformative and is answering the hope of millions or sometimes just a few people. At least it is just saying, I have a dream, I have a utopia, I see something which is completely beyond the representation, and I'm formulating it, and it becomes a cause for the person who says it and for the others. So Dr. V is there. He says a big no to the fact that people are losing sight. He says, I'm going to eliminate needless blindness. And then he moves to the third point, the third leverage of shapership, which is anticipative experimentation. which is the creative how. Once you know, once you have a transformative vision, you need transformative action. So what do shapers? They completely reinvent life as it is. They reinvent justice, they reinvent health, they reinvent something so that they create a coalition of actors that are completely aligned to make the transformative vision a reality. Dr. V, for instance, moves into the rural area in India, connects with women, gives them an education to make early diagnosis of eye problems. He unites telemedicine centers. When people need to be operated, they are too poor to come to the hospital, so he creates a transportation system. When they arrive, they need to be operated faster than in other hospitals. So they operate 7 times faster because they create something to move the operation table. Of course, they are there not to make money, but to eliminate needless blindness, so they innovate to the max. Once they are there, if they need glasses, they must be done just right on the spot. So it creates a glasses factory, and then they go back home. And if they are rich or poor, it's the same standard of operation. So if you're rich, you might have access to accommodation and you pay for too poor. After 30 years, the Aravind Eye Care Hospital has been leveraged to a level where they say we are going to eliminate needless blindness in the world. They are recognized as the best eye care hospital in the world. And you know what? It's because they have a big yes, which is the axis around which their whole system is centered. They are there for one reason. So we have studied many people around this idea of shapership and the do's and don'ts of shapership. We might talk about that too. The fact is that those people in a way, they pioneer something which is a new paradigm in their field because they dare to completely think differently and escape the prison of what we call representations. Just think about the way things are and look at that with fresh eyes, then completely open to something which is transformative before knowing how they are going to make it. Sometimes we mix both and we start to think about the way we are going to transition or do something without knowing where we are. So the shapers make it more radical. And this is a way to think radical. After the book, we had some echoes, which I'm going to talk about later, which led us to create the shapership activities and academy.